Good evening. Welcome to Fall-toba. I'm your host, Michael Myers. And when I'm not killing people with a chainsaw, so I can use their meat in my chili I sell to people at my gas station slash barbecue store, I'm here at the Myers house reviewing movies. And today I'm reviewing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The movie opens up with a crawl text introductory to the film, explaining the basic plot to the movie, and a warning that this is a true story and that this could totally happen again. It adds an extra sense of terror and suspense. This is probably the best intro to a horror movie ever. It tells you the basic plot of the movie, so you know what you're going into. We cut to someone taking snapshots of a decomposing body, and not long after, it cuts to a corpse perched on a gravestone, as a grisly monument, establishing the atmosphere and central theme of this film. It also follows a group of young adults traveling around in a van through Texas. Sally Hardesty, played by Marilyn Burns, her brother Franklin, who is disabled, played by Paul Partain, Sally's boyfriend Jerry, played by Alan Danziger, Pam, played by Terry McMinn, and Kirk, played by William Vale. They are on their way to find out if Sally and Franklin's granddad was actually dug up by grave robbers or not. On the way, they pick up a hitchhiker who is just coming back from working at a slaughterhouse. He talks about how his whole family works there. That's not totally suspicious at all. He says something about how now they kill the cows with an air gun, and they used to just bop the cow on the head with a sledgehammer, bringing up an interesting social commentary about what is going on in the meat industry. You see, as technology progressed, there were new practices that made slaughtering livestock more efficient and humane. Taking away the hammer and replacing it with a bolt basically took away a lot of jobs from poor farmers, basically making unemployed people like the Sawyer family, people who missed the thrill of killing livestock. This is basically the motive of the villains in this movie. Anyway, the hitchhiker randomly snaps a picture of the group and insists that they pay for it. But when they refuse, he cuts Franklin's arm with Franklin's knife. They all freak out and kick the hitchhiker out of the van, and he marks their van with a cryptic symbol in blood, targeting them. What's even weirder is that when the van gets washed at the gas station, the guy completely misses it, like it was deliberate. Following the hitchhiker's stabbing, the film seems to indicate that violence only creates violence. Franklin seems to be absolutely fascinated with the hitchhiker stabbing himself, and Franklin starts stabbing at the interior of the van compulsively. They then go to the old Franklin estate, with their gas tank low on gas. They find the house is dilapidated and completely abandoned, with a few animal bones scattered in a hallway. After investigating the house, Kirk and Pam decide to go find the old swimming hole near the house. But when they get to it, they discover that the swimming hole is all dried up. Kirk sees a nearby farm and hears a generator and thinks there must be gasoline there. Here's where the crucial lesson of the film comes in. Don't go wandering around someone else's property. Kirk ends up going into the farmhouse, and he gets knocked out by Leatherface, played by Gunnar Hansen, a chainsaw-wielding maniac who wears his victim's face as a mask. Pam gets worried because Kirk didn't come out of the house, and like a dumbass, she goes inside. She goes into the living room of the house and falls down when she runs into a vase, and what she sees in there can only be described as horrifying. Feathers are covering the floor, bones scattered everywhere, and a couch frame with bones on it. Apparently the house smelled like shit when they were filming this movie. The director really put a lot of thought and time into the movie. The attention to detail is amazing. Pam gets up, and before she can run out of the house, Leatherface catches her. He hangs her on a meat hook. It wouldn't be called Texas Chainsaw Massacre without a chainsaw, so he proceeds to cut up Kirk with a chainsaw right in front of her. We come back to Jerry, looking for Kirk and Pam, and he ends up going into the Sawyer house, thinking that he hears Pam. This being another plot line about not trespassing on other people's property. A warning that was given to them by the cook at the gas station earlier in the day. Jerry finds Pam's dead body in a freezer in the house, and Leatherface jumps out and kills him. We come back to Sally and Franklin, trying to figure out where everyone is, when Leatherface jumps out from fucking nowhere and kills Franklin with his chainsaw. Can't say I blame him. Franklin was pretty fucking annoying. You don't even really see how he kills him. You just see Leatherface moving his chainsaw around. And here's where things really get suspenseful. Leatherface proceeds to chase Sally through the woods, with lots of suspense and close calls. Sally eventually makes it to the safety of the gas station with the cook from earlier, and she discovers that the cook is also another maniac. It's revealed that the gas station was really a front, and that the barbecue being served was flesh from the victims of Leatherface. It doesn't really come out and say that the killers are cannibals. It's only pretty clearly implied. The cook kidnaps Sally and brings her to the Sawyer house. The cook isn't motivated by killing, though. He is ultimately motivated by greed. When he leaves the gas station with Sally, his main concern is turning out the lights to save electricity, and when he returns home, he gets outraged that he will have to replace the back door after Leatherface destroyed it. Sally wakes up and discovers she is a dinner guest at these three weirdos' house: Leatherface, the hitchhiker, and the cook. Sally only lives to serve as a form of entertainment for them, on account of them not having a TV, I guess. It's revealed that they are all Sawyer brothers. What's weird is that they are the only ones left in the family that exist, including their barely living grandfather and their taxidermied grandmother. It's made clear that the grandfather was the one who started all of this, and they give the honor of killing Sally to him. Because he is like 100 years old, he can barely lift the hammer, and it gives Sally a chance to run outside. The hitchhiker tries to chase her down, but he doesn't really try to catch her. Instead, he takes pleasure in harassing her and trying to cut her, which leads him to becoming roadkill by a passing truck. Leatherface gets mad and chases her down, and the truck driver throws a wrench at him, causing him to fall on his chainsaw, injuring himself. What a loon. Sally manages to get a ride with someone driving by in a Chevy truck and flees, screaming in terror, while Leatherface is left in the dust to dance spastically in the street, wielding his chainsaw. Well, that was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Still a classic decades later. Thanks for watching. Happy Fall-tober!
You damn fool! You ruined the door!